Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree, and I am joined here by some plants that I feel are underrated. I feel like these plants deserve more hype. There's two here that I feel like if you're a regular viewer, you'll probably know exactly what they are because I had to mention them. I couldn't do a plants that need more hype video without showing two of my favorite babies. So the plant that actually made me have this idea was this one though. And of course it's in desperate need of water like all the plants are. As I was gathering the plants up for this video and yesterday's video, I was like, I can't show that one, it needs water, and this one needs water. Everything's wilted in this house. So the first one I want to say needs more hype is this. This is a... You know what? I went to get the plant and I could not remember what it was called, and I told myself, no, you'll just remember it in the moment. Mandarin plant. I knew it. I knew I'd remember it. This is a mandarin plant. It's in desperate need of water, like everything is. So it's looking a little limp, but this plant is so underrated. Actually, you know what? I've only heard Ashley Anita mention this plant. I don't even know if she has it. I feel like she just showed it in a shopping video. This plant is so cool. So it is a member of the spider plant family, and I found that out after I bought the plant, but if I had known that before, I would not have bought this plant because I have tried with so many spider plants, mostly the curly ones. The Bonnie, I think is what they're called. I don't know. The spider plants check in and they don't check out, okay? They don't have a good life with me. But I'm doing really good with the two spider plants I have now. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'm not gonna think of it as a spider plant. And I don't know, it has kind of the texture of a spider plant leaf, kind of like, it feels like if you touch it, it might be tacky or something, but it's not. It has a beautiful, like, growth pattern. It's very in need of water, so usually it's a little bit perkier, but it's still very beautiful the way that it looks now. It has this beautiful green and then this like orange creamsicle stem. It's so pretty. I mean, look how it graduates from this beautiful creamsicle down the stem, and then in the leaf it kind of just fades through this like middle vein. What is there not to love about this plant? It also puts out flowers. It flowered for me last year. I absolutely love this. It doesn't get any hype. Nobody talks about it. And I don't know why that is. Maybe because it looks like it's supposed to be an outside plant. At least that's how it looks to me. Even the way it feels and everything, it feels like an outdoor plant. It's so easygoing. This plant is not dramatic at all. Like right now it's in severe need of water, but it'll perk right back up. Kind of like a peace lily would. Like it wilts like its life is over, and then you give it water and it's like, oh, I was just kidding. That's what this plant does. It'll perk right back up. It does really well with underwatering if you're an underwaterer like I am. It's an awesome plant. The leaves never die. I mean, sometimes a leaf just, you know, comes to the end of its life and it falls off, but the plant's not gonna fall apart if you miss a watering. It does well with any kind of lighting. I've had this in a lot of different spots in my house and it does really well. Right now it's in, I wanna say medium, but on the like low end of medium light. It gets a lot of light during the morning and that kind of stuff, but throughout the day and like right now it's kind of cloudy, it's not getting a lot of light. It does well. It's very adaptable, easygoing plant. I love this one and nobody talks about it. It does not get enough love, at least with the YouTube plant people that I watch anyway, you know? So let's get one of the obvious ones out of the way, and it's the philodendron bobcee. This is my new one. My OG bobcee is right there. I've mentioned it a million times, but I have to mention it. This plant does not get any hype. Other than, I saw Ashley Anita's mentioned it a couple times in plant shopping videos. She found a variegated one recently and I almost had a heart attack once I saw the video. One of you guys actually left me a comment saying, have you heard of this one? Ashley Anita showed it in a plant shopping video, and I was like, I gotta get it. But I don't even know where it exists at. But anyway, this is the philodendron bobcee. This is my new one. I just bought this one from Cactus Club. I did a little unboxing of it where I was just like freaking out because look how freaking big it is. It's doing really well. It put out a new leaf. That one right there, this glossy one. The tip kind of cracked off a little bit, but it's still doing well. And several of you guys mentioned to me that this pole is here for stability, not for the plant to grow into it. So I'm gonna keep it there for stability because it actually helps balance out the plant really, really well because it's very top heavy. It's still in the pot, still with the moss. Look at this. Look at this plant. I don't even know how to show this plant in a way that shows it off properly. I'll insert a little video, of course, because I can't even like show it in the frame. It's so big. But the leaves are so beautiful. Nobody talks about this plant. I feel like I'm the only one that mentions it. I'm its #1 advocate, and I will always be obsessed with it. Look at it. What's there not to love? It's so beautiful. I think the only thing not to love about this plant, obviously, is the size. It takes up a lot of room. It grows all big and crazy. The one that I already have here, it doesn't take up a ton of room. I think because of how I've had it growing, it kind of grows hanging down over the shelf. But this one I'm hoping to keep growing really big and crazy. But it will take up a lot of room. It's also very expensive. And I think because there's not a lot of like demand for it maybe. So no, that doesn't make any sense. I feel like if the demand was there, the price would go higher or something. But I don't know. I love it so much. I'm going to take it out of the table now because it's taking up all the room and hogging all the light. But I love the plant. I'll link below my care video that I did on this one, and I kind of show off my other one a little bit more. But it's such a good plant. It's easy. It loves light. Let it dry out between waterings. That's kind of it. It's never had a pest. It's doing so good. I don't regret buying this one for a second. It was an obvious choice, but it had to be done. Same for this one. This is an obvious choice. I have mentioned this plant 100 million times, but for good reason, because look at it. It's the Senecio blue chalk sticks. I have mentioned this in many, many videos. I've done tons of cuttings off of this plant. None of the cuttings have done well. Literally none of them are still alive. I don't know if I just don't know or understand how to propagate a succulent very well. I did let it dry out and then I potted it and it was doing fine, but they eventually just all died. But I'm okay with that because this is the one I care about the most. It grows so crazy cool. It's just like some abstract art just sitting in the window. Are you kidding me? Beautiful. It also has this beautiful farina, which makes the leaves look blue, and then when you touch it, the blue will kind of wear off on your, not on your fingers, but it'll wear off of the leaves. So try not to handle it too much unless you don't mind having like fingerprints on your plant and stuff. This plant is so thirsty. I probably water this one at least every 7 or 8 days because it sits in the windowsill in the south and the west facing window, blasted with light all day long. During the summer it's even worse. So it's a great plant. It's thirsty, it loves water, but I wait till the leaves tell me it needs water. Like even right now it's a little bit pruny and I'm gonna go water it now. I had to mention this one. It gets no hype whatsoever, but I also think succulents don't get a lot of hype in the houseplant world. I think because they kind of just sit there. They'll grow sometimes and that's kind of it. But the succulents I have, I love when they get stretched out and they start looking so cool. I mean, this is an amazing plant. It started out as a little tiny guy like this big and it grew like huge. I cut it a lot. I love it. I love it. I won't go on and on and on because I talked about that one a lot already, but it deserves more hype. It deserves more hype. I gotta show it again. Who am I kidding? Look at this plant. This deserves a hype woman, and I am gonna be the hype woman for the blue chalk sticks Senecio because look at it. Look at it. If you don't have one of these, I mean, you gotta get it. You gotta get on it. Look at this thing. So easy as well. I do put it in a ton of light. That's why I have it in the windowsill, because if you don't, not only will the plant stretch out, but the leaves won't be growing so tightly packed and it'll kind of look a little different. But I love to give this one the most light I possibly can, and it seems to really love it, and it doesn't get sun stressing, so it's not gonna start turning red and brown and stuff in the light. Sometimes that looks pretty, but on this plant, I love the blue and it really can handle like that harsh light. Okay, the last plant that I think needs more hype is the aglaonema Madonna, another plant in need of water. This has to be the easiest aglaonema that I have one more. The aglaonema, like I'm gonna remember the name of it. I have another one that's also very easy, but this is the easiest one. I do let it dry out between waterings, sometimes a little too much, but it can handle that just fine. And unlike the other aglaonemas that I have, it doesn't lose all of the bottom leaves and then just stay like a long stem with leaves at the top. I actually just threw one away yesterday. It was an aglaonema that was in my one leaf wonder video. that one leaf finally fell off and I tried to save the stick, and then I was like, what am I doing with this stick? And it turned out to be dead anyway, so I threw it away. But all of the leaves tend to die on the bottom for some reason. I don't know why that is, but this one doesn't seem to be like that. It just grows out and like kind of branches around. It's really, really cool. It can handle a lot of different lighting as well. I've had this in a lot of different places in my house. Right now, it's in the same spot that the mandarin plant is in. It's right next to it, so it gets medium, but on the lower side of medium light. A lot of nice morning light because it has an east window right there. But it seems to be very adaptable. It kind of just sits there and kicks it until I decide to water it. And then it just perks right back up, and that's it. It does put out some new leaves here and there. Like right now, it's working on one right here. The only thing with this plant that I would say, I don't know, look out for, is it gets that sticky substance on it sometimes. Underneath the leaves, look, there's some right there now. The bobcee does the same thing. It gets all this like crystally sap stuff on it. I feel like I heard that that's meant to ward off pests or something like that. I don't remember, but it's not harmful to the plant at all. I kind of just wipe it off with the wet cloth sometimes I leave it. But this one does tend to get that as well. Not as bad, but just a heads up, it can be a little bit of a sticky guy. But this plant also, underrated beauty. It's so easy. It deserves more hype. And I'm not like an aglaonema person, and to be honest, I always forget that I even have this one because it's so low maintenance. It just sits there, enjoys life until I decide to give it some water, and that's it. But this is probably my favorite aglaonema that I have. The leaf shape is so pretty. It looks like it's fake. Easily could pass for a fake plant. Did I pot it in here or did it come in here? Oh yeah, aglaonema golden Madonna. I bought this at Home Depot. Love this one a lot. Definitely needs more hype. I think just because it needs more hype because it's so easy and it's unlike the other aglaonemas, and not all the leaves are gonna fall off and leave you with a long stem with one leaf at the top. This one's, it's great, it's beautiful, it's easy peasy. What's not to like? So that is it. Those are some plants that I think deserve some more hype, some plants that are kind of underrated, and ones that bring me so much joy. I know two of these you probably already guessed if you are a regular viewer here, but these are some other plants too that I really, really love, and I'm gonna be the hype woman for them now, from now on. But that is it. Let me know some plants you think deserve more hype, some underrated plants. They can be like pricey plants, they can be cheap plants. I feel like a lot of the time the cheaper plants don't get as much hype because they're kind of basic, but sometimes what you need is a basic plant in your life to just steal your heart. And hopefully you have some of these plants and they've stolen your heart too. I'm just going on and on now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my next one. And I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.